All right, welcome everybody to team training. June, what is this? 19th or the 19th or the 18th? I better look at my phone. Let's see. 18th. Okay, close enough. Sometime in June, third week of June. That's all I know, right? Third Thursday in June, and we're just gonna come on here real quick and go over some good little Facebook tips. Now, these might be things that you're already doing, might be a reminder. Maybe there'll be some new things that you're just learning. So some of you are newer coaches that I see here. So this will be great to take some notes on that. And, if it's something that is a repeat to you, just make sure you're doing it, right? It's like if somebody says, oh, I've heard that before, but are you actually implementing it in your business? Because that's the big key is, hey, we can learn all day long, but if we don't do anything with that knowledge, then it's kind of a waste. So one really quick thing I was going to go over is, well, two things actually. One is they announced what they're doing for convention, which is going to be online. And if you weren't on Monday's call, they were talking about once you register, it's $200 to register. But what's really cool is that you can invite 25 clients into, they must have like a whole different client section, but for free, which is amazing. So 25 people that, are interested in the program. Maybe they're coach potentials. Maybe they just need a little help on their health journey. Everybody's business is different. So maybe you don't have 25 people on yet, but maybe you have some people interested. And just really, really cool that they're doing that and going to open that up for a lot of people. I think that will really give a lot more people a little insight into our culture and what Optavia is all about. So I thought that was awesome. And then the second thing is Dan Bell is doing a training. So if you have reached executive director or above in April and May, Dan Bell is doing like a 3-day training, which if you don't know who Dan Bell is, he created our compensation plan. He was one of the founders of the company. The guy is brilliant and he knows this business forwards and backwards. So if you are executive director or above, I would highly suggest signing up for that. I believe I posted a link in our transformation page, but otherwise I know the Valentine page has it too. So just go on there and look for that. You can just search on Dan Bell or executive director and it'll probably pull up in the recent searches. So I would definitely suggest doing that if you qualify for that. So tonight I just wanted to go on really quick because I was trying to think today. I was like, all right, what should we talk about? And there's so many boot camps and things going on. Why not just talk about some basics? Just some really easy steps that we just want to kind of confirm that we're doing. And hopefully that will help you in your business. And maybe it'll just shed some light like, oh, hey, I used to do that and I haven't done that for a while. I know I get like that. I mean, been doing this for 5 years, right? And there's sometimes you kind of forget some things that you do. And it's just kind of human nature. It's kind of like just part of the growth. You start working really hard on one thing, but you kind of forget some of these basics. So I wanted to kind of just bring it back around tonight and give some basics. And then there's also some newer coaches on here. So I think this will be really helpful. So we're not going to get deep into the 3x3x3. So if you've never heard of that, it's basically the 3 posts, 3 conversations, 3 friend requests every day. What I want to say about that is you really should up that to like 10, 10, and 5 or 10, depending on your friends list. I would say adding 10 friends a day is great. But if you really want to grow your business, the 3x3x3 is basically just to sustain it. I mean, that's not going to get you any kind of exponential growth. That's not going to get you much momentum. And, honestly, we're thinking about like someone might say, oh, I'd like to make a side income of $1,000, or I'd like to leave my job and create a full-time income. And we're putting in 5 to 10 minutes of work a day. Because I mean, that's really what the 3x3x3 takes, is about 10 to 15 minutes. That's really not going to get you very far. So one thing is to make sure you're increasing that action. And that doesn't mean you have to spend hours a day, but take a good chunk, take a half an hour, take an hour out of your day, because your dreams are worth it. I mean, if you really have those dreams to grow, a bigger business and create that extra side income and create some residual income in the future, it's going to take a lot more than just the 3x3x3. So I just want to touch base on that. And again, if you haven't heard of that before, I would say connect with your mentor coach. They can explain that in a little bit more depth. We will talk about a little bit about conversations, but it's 10 conversations, or it's not 10 posts. I'm sorry. So it wouldn't be 10 by 10 by 10. It'd be like 10 by 3 by 10, not 10 posts, but doing 3 posts a day and then adding 10 friends each day. So let's talk about friends while we're on that subject. How many friends do you have on your friends list? Think about if you have 200 to 300 friends on your friends list currently, only on a good day, on a good post, only about 7 to 10% of them are actually seeing what you're posting on Facebook. So you really want to, if you want to help more people, you're going to have to increase that reach. When I started coaching 5 years ago, I was the person that had 200 friends because Eileen actually set my Facebook up for me because I was like anti-Facebook. And now I really enjoy it. And it's part of our business, but I just actually enjoy it. And so you really want to make sure that you're ramping that up to at least like 1,000 friends. Get that pool bigger, right? Like there are more people out there to help than you even know. And honestly, most of the people that you're going to help in the future, if you're looking at this long term, 3-5 years down the line, most of those people are going to be people that you don't even know yet, that you've never met. You'll probably connect with them somehow on Facebook. It looks like maybe I'm freezing up. No. Okay, I'm back. Did I freeze up? No? Okay. Somebody froze up on me. I thought it was me. All right. It's going to eventually be a lot more people on your team, in your client pool that you don't even know yet. So just think about that and start thinking about who are the type of people that you want to connect with. Like who are you looking for to help? If you've never done any like Facebook groups are a really great way to connect with people. We are in a lot of traveling Facebook groups. Oh, hold on a second. Somebody's off mute. Let me get that. All right. I think I got everybody. Okay. We're in a lot of traveling camper Facebook groups. We're connecting with people that way. If you guys have watched my page at all, or if anybody's watched my page, we had a funny video about the DDP yoga, because I kept saying it to Eileen, like, oh, I should get DDP yoga. I should get that. I say it like every single day, and finally she just yelled at me like, just buy it already. Just buy the stupid yoga already. So I bought that, but I found out like, oh, they have Facebook groups. So I was like, this is perfect. I'm going to get in some Facebook groups. I'm going to, post my story. I'm going to post about what I'm doing. I'm going to offer some tips and help. And that's a great way to connect with people if you're looking to grow that Facebook list. So I think Facebook groups is kind of a untapped resource a lot of times, because you can find those groups where you have common interests with people. And when you have common interests with people, it's really easy to strike up a conversation, isn't it? Like if I see a guy with a Cubs shirt on and I walk up and I'm like, oh man, I love the Cubs, like boom, instantly. We already have a connection. We already have something to talk about. So find those Facebook groups. And Jamie, are you shaking your head because I'm a Cubs fan? I see you. Find those groups that you can connect with people. Jamie's not going to go to a Cubs group, but maybe she'll go to like a Brewers group or something. So find those find those groups that you can connect with the people that you relate to. And if it's if you're
some shit.
What's that?
I was just giving you some shit.
Yep, I figured. If you if you're a mom, if you're a single mom, or if you're specific, like Crystal's on here, right? Like she has a very specific skill set at her work. She's connected with people and that, like, find your tribe of people that you can connect with, and it's going to really help you grow your list. So, all right, moving on. Engagement post. Now we could post before and afters all day long. In the beginning of your journey, people are excited about your journey, so they get more excited about seeing other people's journeys. And eventually they don't have as much impact as they used to as you continue to go. Like this is just like the coaching 101. Like in the beginning, sometimes it's like a rocket ship. Sometimes people take a little while to get momentum. That also maybe from what you were doing previously to becoming a coach. So maybe you weren't posting stuff that much before. Maybe you really weren't on Facebook that much before. So that kind of flows over into when you become a coach, like how quickly you move. But if you are somebody that has that um, already has kind of like that platform and people are already kind of watching a little bit, sometimes that kind of takes off like a rocket ship, right? But over time, that seems to slow down, and the same actions that you were doing before don't seem to get the same results. After 5 years, like if I posted before and after, I don't get 2 or 3 share calls every time. I have to do the extra work. And so doing engagement posts, doing posts where people are writing, commenting, and it doesn't even always have to be about health. The great ones are like, how much weight do you want to lose by end of July? 10 pounds, 15 pounds, blah, blah, blah. You know what that is? That is a great way to connect with people who are already thinking about trying to get healthy. You already have a foot in the door to have that conversation. Because what my last one I did last week, I got like 3 share calls from it. Because I just wrote to people, I said, hey, listen, what are you doing to hit that goal by the end of July? And someone, had a plan already. I'm like, awesome. Hey, can I invite you to our group where we share tips and healthy recipes, our health and wholeness group? I just use that as a way to invite people to the ATM group. Or also, if they didn't really have a plan, I was like, would you be open to checking out what we do and how we help people? So it's just a great conversation starter. But engagement posts just give you conversations to start. Like I said earlier, the 10 conversations a day at least. Sometimes we don't have any idea what to have a conversation about, right? We're just like, this is just totally random. I'm just going to make something up. But if you have those engagement posts and people are already commenting, you could write them back. You could take it to a side message and say, oh, thanks so much for commenting on my post. Maybe it's like about a band or something. Oh yeah, I love that band. Or, or a recipe, right? People love recipes. So keep those recipes going, but take those into a conversation somehow. So we've been doing a lot of recipes lately and a lot of you are doing this too. So it's nothing new, but where you post a recipe and say, hey, if you'd like this recipe, message me in the comments. I'll shoot it over to you. It's a perfect way to start that conversation. Add some people in the ATM group because it's the exact segue. Like, hey, here's a recipe. By the way, if you'd like some more healthy tips or recipes, we have this great group that we can invite you into. And so kind of putting those together. Thanking the likes. Now, if you do get some good interaction on a before and after, get some good interaction on maybe some of your Facebook stories too. Like that's a great way to get in there and thank people for checking out your stories. Thanking the likes is always something that we try to do, or I should say I try to do. I try to do on a consistent basis. And if you've never done that before, let's say you put a post out there, maybe it's even a post about your family or kids, or maybe it's a health post and you get a bunch of people liking it. Maybe you don't get people commenting, but you get people liking it. You just go to those likes. Because on Facebook, you can go on there, you can click on your little hearts and thumbs up, and you can see everybody that liked your post. And you can write back. Now, if they're coaches, don't write them back because there's no reason to write them back. But if they're not, go ahead, just click on their name. Facebook takes it right to Messenger. Say, hey, thanks so much for liking my post. I really appreciate it. Susie feels so much better now that she lost 100 pounds, or, whatever it is. Or, hey, thanks so much. My family had a great day at the lake. Like, we just got to this lake, and Edie, or May, Pepper, and I, we all jumped in the lake and we're swimming around. I'm probably going to put a post up about that. And it's going to get some likes, and I'm going to send a message to somebody and say, hey, thank you so much for liking that. We're having a great time traveling the country. Oh, you travel the country? Oh, yeah. My health coaching business has allowed us to be able to travel the country. It's just a great way to segue into conversation. And really that's what, all this is built on. I was doing something. I used to do this a lot more. I haven't done it as much lately, but I decided to do it the other day. I had some time and ended up starting like 50 conversations in like no time. Is I'll take my phone and I'll just kind of show you. I tried to make a video of this, but it didn't turn out like I wanted to. So, so I do pretty much everything from the phone. I'll take my phone, I'll go to my friends list. And sometimes we're like, oh, who do we talk to? You can't really probably see that well, can you? Maybe not. And what I'll do is I'll just scroll through and I'll just do like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll just scroll and don't scroll to the top. Don't do the top because those are the people that are already in your feed. So you want to bring new people into your world. So I'll just scroll, 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 and I'll just stop. And I'll just click on it. And I'll send Annette Riffle. I don't know. I don't even know who Annette Riffle is, but I'll send her a message. I'll send her a quick message and maybe we connected on Facebook and maybe I've never, said hey to her. I don't know. I'll once I pull this message up, I'll know because I will. Oh, looks like we've been talking back and forth for a little while. And oh yeah, I do. I remember Annette. She needs to get on a share call with me. So so you just go through there and just click on it. Like it's the easiest way and just click on the person's name. And if it's somebody, you already know had a conversation, maybe you follow up with them, maybe you just move on to the next person and then just do that. You take half an hour doing that, you could bust out 20 conversations like that. Like it's nothing. And then what you can do is later on during the day when you have another little bit of time, you could just go ahead and go ahead and go back to those conversations because you're going to get some replies and break that down. So again, guys, it's not going to take a ton of time to build this business, but it's going to take consistency. It's going to take a little bit every day. It's okay to be the turtle, but the way that the turtle wins is the turtle keeps moving. The turtle doesn't like run one day and then stop for 3 days. Well, maybe a turtle would because it'd be tired, but the turtle just keeps moving along. And that is the biggest key to our business is that you just don't stop. It doesn't mean you have to put massive effort in every single day. If you have a goal, if you have a massive goal, then you're going to have to do that. Like this doesn't just happen by magic, right? If you complain about, I'm not as far along as I'd like to be, well, what have you done the 2 months earlier to create what you actually want? I think sometimes we get in our heads that like, oh, this is what I want and it should just happen. But that's not the way it works. We have to put in the work, but we have to put in the consistency. And, this is such an amazing opportunity to help a lot of people, but also help yourself and create some freedom in your life. But it's going to take time. And if you can get that set in your mind that, hey, you know what, if I do this consistently over time, if I listen to the mentorship, if I get on the calls and do what these people are saying, that, the people that are on the calls are like, they're the 1%ers, right? They're the ones that have taken it all the way to the top. Now the rest of us just have to follow their lead and get back up there with them. And so I got a message from Tammy and it says, I should ask Heather to pop on really quick because she does a great job at this. So I'm sure Heather is super excited that I just put her on the spot like this, but she can blame Tammy. And so Heather, do you have any good Facebook conversation tips? Because Tammy says you do.
I love you, Tammy. She knows how much I like to talk. Just do it. So I took advice from Dan Valentine a long time ago. It just happens to be right here in my backpack that I take everywhere with me. And I printed my Facebook list, and it's in this clip. It's nothing fancy. I don't have it in a binder. I just keep that as documentation, and I literally handwrite on it. Kind of like you said, scroll, but instead of scroll, I just go through the list. It's not in any order. And I just take a few every day, depending on my crazy schedule. Some days it's 5, some days it's 20. And I just start a conversation with them. I usually check their Facebook page a little bit and see what's going on in their life. I might like a couple things, comment on their page, and just go to their messenger and see how they are, ask how their kids are. Just don't be weird. I don't know. Just ask them. It might be someone that I haven't seen in forever. Just say, hey, I haven't seen you in forever. How's it going? So That's it. That's all I do.
Perfect. It's like, what would you do if you saw somebody in the supermarket?
Yep.
Right? Just say, hey, how you doing? How are your kids? How's life? And yeah, don't be weird.
Yeah. I still sometimes overthink it, I'll be honest.
I think
And
we
then
all
I
do.
tell myself, stop it. So, yep, just don't
Yeah.
overthink it.
I think there's a time too, like there's a time to be bold, but then you've got to kind of learn when that time is with those certain people. Like, because you can't build rapport for a year, because you eventually just have to say, hey, listen, I saw you posted about this, or saw you commented on my photo. Would you be open to taking a look at what we do? There is a point to where you get to that, but basically it's just kind of loving on people and meeting them where they're at. And I love though that you brought up printing off the Facebook friends list. Like, we have a printer now. I need to do that again. I have my excuse we didn't have a printer, but now we have a printer. So that's a great way to do it too. And it's an amazing follow-up tool. It's just like doing the ATM group and having your list for all your ATM people that you can just, like Shelly has, the way Shelly does it is that she writes their name down. I invited them. I tagged them in the post. I followed up. Yep, right there. There you go. It's just a great way to kind of make sure that you are touching base with those people, because if you touch base with them over like the last few months, and let's say, I know we're probably not going to have another incentive, but we had an incentive like again, and you've touched base with them over the last few months, and you maybe talked about program, you could send them a message and be like, hey, we talked about program a little while ago. There's this great incentive. But if you haven't talked to them for a year and you're like, hey, we got this great incentive, that's weird. That's where people get turned off. And that's where people are like, no, I don't think I want any part of that. But if you've stayed in connection with them, it's just a natural progression, a natural conversation. I love that. Thank you, Heather. All right. So anybody else have any tips? Those were just the quick ideas on my mind, and we're at the top of the hour anyways. But if anybody else had anything that has been working, Ama, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, well, it's very similar to Heather. I also had printed out my sheet, my whole list, but it had been forever. I never did anything with it. So now I make my list in the morning. I schedule myself, go through that list to start conversations. I don't engage until I'm done with starting all the conversations. So I do like 15 a day. It's like, okay, so I'm at least consistent, 15 a day. I will, and then during the course of the day, I will chat back with them. Then I'll respond. But there was something else that I wanted to say about, in terms of what to say to people, this is the best time. I'm checking up with all my Facebook friends. How are you doing through all this? That's it. I mean, this is the easiest thing for me to start. And most of the time they will respond to me because they're like, oh, thank you so much for checking up on me. And I am checking up on them, especially since some of them I've never talked to before. But it's the best starter conversation to have. And then I go through how I felt, and then I go through that my health, I decided instead of freaking out and going the opposite direction and eating everything in sight, I decided I was going to work on my health. And so that brings that conversation, what are you doing? And then it brings that into it. That's it.
Love it. Yeah, whenever somebody says, how are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm doing great. I'm down 10 pounds. Feel amazing. Decided to get my health back on track. There you go. Heather, now first Heather said she didn't want to talk, and now she's messaging me. Can I add another thing? So come off mute, Heather.
Another easy thing that I do every single day, I never miss a day. And if I do, I go back and say belated, but birthdays. Facebook tells you every day whose birthday it is. Just tell them happy birthday. Hope you have a fabulous day. And chances are you'll, one of my new clients is from telling someone happy birthday. So it's that easy. Just tell them happy birthday.
Yep, that's perfect. Right when you started talking, I was like, oh, happy birthday message. And then you said it. So that's perfect. If anybody else has anything, I think that's great. I think that's a good some good, easy things that you could do each and every day that doesn't take you a ton of time. I mean, the birthday message is like 10 minutes tops. And you could send a voicemail if you want to. I mean, you really wanted to sing, you could sing to somebody if you wanted to. I'll do that every once in a while, depending on the person. But and people love that because they get all like the post on their Facebook page, but they never see all those. But you send them a personal message, say, hey, happy birthday, thinking about you, have an amazing day. Like that means a lot. And we're always putting into that relationship bucket, right? We're always putting into that relationship bank account so that you're building that trust with people and they know that you're there to help them. Because that's our number one goal as coaches. It's not to make money. It's not to get people. It's to help them. And when we help enough people, we can have whatever we want, but we always got to put the people first. So, all right. If anybody else has anything to add, otherwise I'm going to count it down.
Hey, hold
somebody
on.
off mute. Oh, hey, Shelly.
Hey, so we're still talking about the birthday things, but I made this like totally amazing, hilarious birthday song video. It's a fantastic conversation starter because everybody loves this crazy video because it's just so, I don't know, it's hilarious. So I may send the same video to a lot of people, but it starts a lot of conversations because it's so freaking hilarious that people just cannot help but respond back to me when I send it out.
Well, now we need to see the video. Because you can't say something like that and not show anybody the video. So I will require you to send that to me immediately, please.
Just to you. I think it needs to go.
Put it in the group.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, no, that's an awesome idea. I've never even thought of that. I love that. And then you have that video and you can send it. Ooh, you send it to everybody. That's so awesome. What a great idea. Love it. All right. Tammy, I'm laughing at you. I just read your message. So, okay. Hey, you know what? This is completely unrelated to what we were talking about. But we are in the people business, guys. And sometimes people are not ready to help themselves. So we have to be able to let that go. So if you're a newer coach, you will eventually have someone that you think is just going to do the program and it's just going to rock it. You're like, these people, they're going to be amazing. They're going to be coaches. They're blah. And they do nothing. And they call you the second day and be like, I hate everything. I can't do this anymore. We can only help people that are ready to help themselves. So this total sidetrack, but it's also setting you all up for the future to know that could possibly happen. And just keep your emotional energy and know that we love this program. I absolutely love this program. It's changed my life. But it might not be a fit for the next person. And that's okay. Because we are looking for the people that are looking for us. And when we find them, it's beautiful. They get healthy. They love it. But then there's some people that it's just not the right fit for. We have to be okay letting them go and letting them go find what is the right fit for them. So I know it's total sidetrack, but Tammy's message, brought that on. So, and she knows what I'm talking about. So anyways, guys, have a great night. Thank you for joining in. I hope some of those tips help you with your daily action steps, because again, like this is not a get rich quick thing. This is not magic. Like you have to do work. And when you do that work, you will put in some work in the beginning, and you will put in more work than what you're getting paid. But eventually, what you're getting paid will far outweigh the work that you're putting in, and that's where the true freedom comes in. All right, everybody, have a great night. Bye.
Night.